Arknights!
Gracebearer is a 5-star primal guard. She first became available during the Masses Travels event alongside Lumen and Exalter in the Freedom of Preach banner, but is now available through standard headhunting. Gracebearer, also known as Sister Nueda, has 10 years of combat experience, likely coming from her time serving as a nun and guard in the Sancta Church. She stands 162 centimeters tall, was born on the 18th of February in Bolivar, and is officially an undisclosed race, but is likely a Kukulkan like Huol. In our archive files and promotion record, it's noted that when Rhodes Island members think of piety, Sister Nueda of the Bolivar office comes to mind before anyone from Laterano or Iberia, as she never breaks rules, never gossips, and always appears beside those who need her without asking anything in return. She follows a strict daily schedule, praying 9 times throughout the day and a 10th time in her sleep, and even while standing quietly in a corner, others draw strength and comfort from her presence. Her faith commands deep respect, though it has made some hesitant to approach her, and certain operators suspect there is a side of her she keeps hidden beneath her pious exterior. She possesses a beautiful voice that makes even mundane songs moving, and has devoted herself to studying musical styles from different countries to create new hymn arrangements since joining Rhodes Island. During a medicine transport mission, Sister Nueda went deep behind enemy lines and lost contact with her team, eventually returning to the office covered in blood before passing out, though her injuries proved minor. Upon waking, she credited her rescue to an armed group that had delivered her to safety, and days later the team learned that a Cygnus-aligned faction had captured the hostile encampment on their route, believed to be the same group. In a strange turn, a thank you letter from Rhodes Island crossed paths with one from that very faction, each crediting the other for weakening the enemy, leaving the full picture of what happened unclear. Around the same time, reports surface of a tactically proficient guerrilla group of deserters, farmers, and mercenaries operating in the Eastern Hills, with no known permanent base or identified leader, whose connection to Sister Nueda remains unconfirmed. After losing her parents and spending her early years wandering war-torn Bolivar in silence, Sister Nueda was profoundly changed at 13 when she encountered a gravely injured Sancta nun who continued singing hymns calmly through disfiguring wounds, teaching her how faith could sustain a soul through unimaginable suffering, and prompting her first spoken words as she took up the nun's melody after her passing. She later arrived in Laterano alongside war orphans during the aftermath of a catastrophe, and rather than leave a city whose people were losing their faith and their lives, she walked among the rubble day after day, comforting survivors and guiding the lost back to the law through the depth of her piety. Her contributions during the rebuilding drew the attention of the Lateran Cura, but she declined the cardinal's commendation and chose instead to return to her war-torn homeland, explaining that just as a nun had once planted the seeds of faith and hope in her own heart, she felt called to do the same in even more barren soil. This conviction, which she described as a revelation from God, reflects the quiet and self-effacing devotion that has defined her life from her earliest years as an isolated child, shaped by the knowledge and heritage of the Kukulkan. Sister Nueda speaks warmly and often of her close friend Aurela, describing her as a brave and approachable Sancta paladin, though the reality is that Aurela is a former Lateran gun knight exiled for killing a colleague, who became a mercenary responsible for assassinations and who once terrorized the children of the very monastery Sister Nueda entrusted to her care. A private letter written years ago reveals that Sister Nueda was fully aware of Aurela's brutal nature and far from troubled by it, finding in her a kind of relief, as Aurela carried the violent darkness that Sister Nueda felt she could not express while playing the role of the kind and gentle nun. Rather than projecting expectations onto Aurela, she accepted her completely as she was, and asked only that she stay, suggesting a bond rooted as much in mutual need as in genuine affection. Aurela's background report notes suspected ties to Laterano and flags her relationship with Sister Nueda as worth monitoring, leaving her true motives and the full nature of her connection an open question. Grace is confirmed to be non-infected. She has a cell originum assimilation of 0% and a blood originum crystal density of 0.08 parts per liter. The notes in her medical file state that she has a strong awareness of oropathy prevention and has remained uninfected due to that. In her character art, drawn by Dropfish, Grace wears a white dress with tall collar, quadruple button cuffs, and folds down the middle. Underneath a black shawl with white interior and gold striping. Black vest with ID card holder, black belt around her torso and neck, multiple pieces of jewelry such as warped golden hoop earrings, rings, and a silver caduceus necklace around her neck, white hairband, long black skirt with the same gold detailing as her shawl, a book attached to a belt with a pouch around her belt, 2 chains around her waist with an angel charm hanging off of them, black pants, black boots, and some leather belts on her tail. She holds her pole hammer in her right hand. In her voice lines, voiced by Sakura Kimura, Grace often talks about taking care of others and her experience with the Sancta Church.
ドクター、申し訳ありません。病気の子の看護をする者がいなくて、連れてきてしまいました。この子はとてもおとなしくて、騒いだり、わがままを言ったりもしません。それに、紙ナプキンで百合の花を折ることもできるんですよ。ねえ、さっき作った花束をドクターにお渡しして。きっと気に入ってくださるから。おやすみなさい、ドクター。知ってますか？きちんと寝ない悪い子には、体が羽と鱗に覆われた化け物が尻尾で心臓を刺してくるんですよ。え？会ったことあるんですか？でも、これ、私が今思いついただけのお話ですよ。早く出てきなさい。見えちゃってるよ。ドクター？ごめんなさい。てっきり一緒にかくれんぼをしていた子かと。どうしてここに？仕事に連れ戻される？でも、この箱だと小さすぎて全く隠せてないですよ。私がこっちに立って、尻尾で少し目隠ししましょうか。どうして製造の後ろに斧が置いてあるか？ああ。確か前に強盗が修道院を襲った時、その斧で掃除をして、そのまま置き忘れたんです。早くしまっておかなきゃ。子供たちに見られたら大変です。冒涜？まさか。もし主があの人たちの悪行を知ったら、きっと私の行いを許してくれるはずです。ラテラーノに関する知識は、私の頭にもそれなりにあったんです。でも、あるシスターに出会って、彼女が亡くなる前に歌った聖歌を聞いたとき、重症なはずなのに、歌声は少しも震えることなく済んでいて、あの瞬間から、蒼白なラテラーノに色がついて形が見えました。私も主の恩寵を授かったんです。
At E2 level 80 with max trust and potential, Grace has 2,600 HP, 930 attack, 350 defense, 10 resistance, 2 block, a 66-second redeploy time, 20 DP cost, and has a 1.2 second attack speed. Her range is the standard range for a guard. At max trust, she gains plus 80 attack. At max pot, she gains minus 2 DP cost, minus 4 seconds to redeploy, plus 30 attack, and a buff to her talent. Her talent, Opportune Mercy, at E2 level 40, makes it so that Grace gains plus 13% attack, which raises to plus 18% attack after defeating a foe under the burst effect of Nervous Impairment. Grace has 2 skills, both being unlocked at E0. Her first base skill, Canticle of Grace, makes it so that when Grace is assigned to a dorm, she restores plus 0.7 morale per hour to another operator assigned to the same dorm, whose morale isn't full, with only the strongest of these effects taking place. Her second base skill, Guard Expert Alpha, makes it so that whenever Grace is assigned as the trainer in the training room, plus 30% mastery speed for guard operators. Grace's first skill, Skull Cracking Elegy, gains SP over time and is manually triggered, lasting for 30 seconds at all levels. Level 7 starts with 10 SP and needs 35 SP to proc, while M3 starts with 15 SP and needs 30 SP to proc. At level 7, Grace's attacks hit twice. Each attack deals 130% of her attack as physical damage and an additional 10% of damage as nervous impairment. At M3, it's 150% of her attack as physical damage. Her second skill, Disemboweling Mass, gains SP over time and is manually triggered. All levels start with 0 SP, with level 7 needing 18 SP to proc and M3 needing 15 SP. At level 7, Grace's next attack deals 220% of her attack as physical damage 3 times, to up to 5 nearby ground enemies in the 8 tiles around her. If the foe is under the burst effect of nervous impairment, the skill deals elemental damage instead. This can store 2 charges. At M3, it's 250% of her attack to up to 6 nearby ground enemies. Since Hypergriff has been on an elemental damage kick lately, it was only a matter of time until it would find its way into a subclass for guards. And unlike the other subclasses that deal elemental damage, to my knowledge, Gracebearer doesn't have a way to deal said elemental damage without using a skill. Then again, that's better than some of the other elemental subclass operators like Diamante, who require that others deal the elemental damage first. Regardless, Grace is basically an arts guard who deals elemental damage instead of arts damage. Her S1 is the only way she can directly apply nervous impairment on foes, as her S2 only does it if the foe is under the burst effect. Not ideal, but again, better than others. Her S2 does have some nice crowd control capabilities though, hitting up to 6 enemies at once, and her talent can be decent if you are able to get a kill on an impaired enemy. Overall, like most of Hypergriff's first goes at a subclass, she's okay, but not good enough to go out of your way and build. I'd wait for the inevitable Delta module that allows her to inflict elemental damage directly, or a 6-star that can do so innately with a talent. But until then, she's just not really that good. Low priority to raise. If she were to get a Delta module, maybe a medium low. Thank you for watching. Please follow my Twitter and Blue Sky for updates, and please check out my other Azure Lane and Uma Musume videos as well. Come back tomorrow for next week's character and story teasers.